Oh, hi there! Welcome to another episode of the Okanagan Gardener and Forager channel. I'm just going to go harvest some mullein leaves, so I thought I'd talk about why somebody might want to harvest mullein leaves. And also, since mullein has 2 years of biennial growth pattern, it grows over 2 years, I'm going to talk about when you might want to harvest those mullein leaves. Mullein, the scientific name is Verbascum thapsus. In its first year of growth, it grows as a basal rosette, so just a circle growing along the ground. And then in its second year, towards the summer, it'll put up a flowering stalk like this. And so the leaves are, I've seen them described as oblong to lanceolate. So oblong would mean it kind of looks like this, where both sides of the leaf are parallel, tapering, not really tapering, so like the same width going along. And other times I've seen it described as lanceolate. This one is kind of a nice oblong shape, and there's some lanceolate looking ones here where it kind of is wider at the base and more tapering. Like oblong, it's more parallel along the way, and it has rounded toothed edges. So I don't know if you can sort of see them here. It does have some like teeth there, but they're rounded. So for these ones, they look pretty smoothed edge. And of course the whole plant, it's like a light gray, light green color, and it's covered in these fuzzy hairs. Mullein leaves are probably most known, at least in my opinion, for their use with dry respiratory ailments. So they act as they can be, when used, they can act as a mild relaxant, anti-inflammatory, and demulcents. And what a demulcent is something that's soothing to mucous membranes. So that soothing for mucous membranes property makes it useful for things such as dry respiratory ailments like dry irritated lungs, bronchitis, asthma, coughs, chest colds, and other dry respiratory ailments. So one thing that it does is it can stimulate the flow of mucus, and that can help to clear and open up the lungs and the sinuses. So like if you had a tea or something or smoke it, can help start making things flow and cough things up. And then you can cough things up. What I'm interested in is that I feel in my joints, I felt fairly dry lately, so what I'm hoping to use it for is to help moisten dry and stiff joints, to help improve flexibility and reduce pain. But mullein leaves also have a bunch of other uses. They've been used as poultices on wounds and ulcers, and it's sometimes used or described as cowboy toilet paper. And so I'll say something about that though. It has these little hairs which can be irritating, so like using it as a tea, you might want to strain it. I haven't used it as toilet paper. A lot of people say, yeah, it works great. I don't know. For me, I'd be a little concerned about the irritating hairs in sensitive areas. Anyways, and another thing that it's been used for is putting in like boots and shoes to help soothe sore feet, like as an insole. Some indigenous people used mullein, and it was called by some groups wild tobacco, and it was smoked. But that comes with a warning that smoking too much was considered to be poisonous by some. So another use was taking the smoke from the leaves and using that to help clear the nostrils of horses that were plugged due to a cold. Okay, you found your mullein plant, you can identify it, and you've decided that you want to use the leaves. Now the question might be, when should you harvest the leaves? And the important thing, I think, to think about when harvesting different parts of a plant is to think about what the plant is trying to do. So you could use different parts of the mullein plant, like the roots could be used for things like joint pain, and the flowers are often used for things like earaches. But what I'm after is the leaves. So to think about what is the plant trying to do at the time will help you think about which part of the plant you should use. So if I were interested in harvesting the roots, it would be good to wait until the fall of the first season, between the fall and the spring, to harvest the roots, because that's where the plant has put its energy into to survive the winter. Now, this is getting a little late because it's going to be putting up a flowering stalk soon, but it's not yet, so I think it's fine. It's June. It's still spring of its second year. So the plant has put its energy into making these big healthy leaves, which I think will be full of the most nutrients that I want to use. So the good times to take the leaves would be the fall after the first season, before the winter, and later after the winter into the spring, but before the flowering stalk emerges. So that's where I think we're at right now, and so that means I'm going to be harvesting some of these leaves. Now I'm not going to show that. I have another video where I did harvest, dry, store, and use the leaves a few ways, so if you'd like to see that, you could. I'll put a link to it. But otherwise, I'm going to take some of these leaves and then I'm going to let some of it go. I'm hoping that it will. I have a few around. I'm hoping that they'll grow, flower, leave some seeds, and then they'll start another cycle. And in the fall, I can harvest the roots to use those because I'm interested in getting the benefits of the roots to help with some joint pain. Anyway, that is about it for this. So if you liked the video, then please give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.